Okay. Today we are going to start our EOT for this academic year of term 3. Okay. Like I always say, the beginning of us passing, or the reason why we pass, is because we know how to read and we remember how to do the work or how to solve the question the way it has been asked. So there's two important things. You have to read, you have to know how to read so that you understand what the question wants. Okay? Now, in this question, it says here, we must use substitution. To do what? To solve. And what are we solving? A system of equations, okay? All right. So now, to use substitution, I must have the equation start with one variable. So if the equations in the system, there is no one that starts with one variable, I will have to make it start with one variable. According to this question, my system, which is this, has two equations. This is equation 1, this is equation 2. As you can see, this equation is starting with a variable. So this will be the best equation for me to substitute in the second equation. So now I will take this part, and because it says y equals, it means I need to replace it where there is y. And remember, we said when we are replacing a variable, we must use parentheses. So this will be 4x plus parentheses 5x plus 1 close parentheses equals 10. Now, as you notice, in front of my parentheses, I don't see a number. And if I don't see a number, I will have to put 1. Okay? Then I take the number together with the operation or the sign. I take the number with the ishara and I darb using distributive property. Okay? So now my new equation will be 4x plus 5x plus 1 equals 10. 1 times positive 1 times 5x will give me positive 5x. Positive 1 times positive 1 will give me positive 1. Now, according to this equation, these are friends. Why are they friends? Because they have the same variable. So 4x plus 5x becomes 9x plus 1 equals 10. In this equation, 1 and 10 are friends. So 1 has to go and be with the friend 10 because they are both numbers and they don't have a variable. So for 1 to go to be with 10, because it's crossing this bridge here, it has to change the ishara. It was positive, now it will be negative. So I will subtract 1 on both sides. So this goes away. I will get 9x equals to 9. And then now I will divide 9 on both sides. And I will get x equals to 1. I will circle it. If I find x, I have to find y. So y equals 5 parentheses x plus 1. You will choose any of the equations in the question for you to be able to find the variable y. Step 2 is find y, okay? So it doesn't matter whether you use the first equation or the second equation. You make the decision. This one is easier because it just says y equals, okay? So then I will do 5. I know my x is 1 plus 1. Whenever you're replacing a half or a variable, you must use parentheses. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 1, and then I will get y is 6. Then I will write my answer. So my answer is called a solution, and the solution will always start with x and y if you have x and y. Okay, so not all the time your solution will have X and Y. But now because it has X and Y, you will start with X and then Y. So now 1, 6, and this is your answer. Okay, so same thing here. My equation starts with one variable. I will select it. I will replace it over here. So now my new equation will be 2x plus parentheses 4x plus 5 equals to 17. If you look here, there is no number, so that means you will put 1. Then you will do distributive property. So you'll have 2x plus 4x plus 5 equals to 17. Positive 1 times 4x is positive 4x. Positive 1 times 5 is positive 5. These are friends because they have the same variable. So 2x plus 4x is 6x plus 5 is 17. I will subtract 5 on both sides. I will get 0. So this will be 6x equals to 12. I will divide by 6 on both sides. X will be 2. I will circle it. Then I will find Y. Okay. I will use the first equation, Y equals to 4 parentheses X plus 5. Y equals to 4 parentheses 2 plus 5. 4 times 2 is 8 plus 5. That should give me 13. Okay. So then I will write solution. Then I will write X comma Y. And then I will write 2, 13. And I will box my answer. But you should always check if your work is correct. Now check, you must do 2 times. So you must do check for the first equation and you must do check for the second equation. And you have to say yes, yes. So if you check and you say no, it means your work is wrong. So let us check. Check for the first equation is y equals to 4x plus 5. I know both variables, so they will be in parentheses. So this is 13 equals to 4 times 2 plus 5. 13 equals to, this becomes 8 plus 5. This is 13 equals to 13. So I am good in the first equation. Okay. Now on to the second equation. I want to check my second equation. I have 2 parentheses x plus parentheses y equals to 17. 2 times 2 plus parentheses 13 equals to 17. This is 4 because it's 2 times 2. And this is positive 13 equals to 17, and 17 equals to 17. I said I got the same rakam at the last step. So this is correct. So therefore, this is my answer. Check is what confirms if you did your work correct. You must do check. You should check your work. Okay. Now here, both my equations start with a variable, with a single variable. So that means I will take this and replace it here. Or I can take this and replace it here. So it doesn't matter. Okay? So I will take the top one and bring it down. So 3x minus 34 is equal to 2x minus 5. Then we always say letters to the left, numbers to the right. So my letter is 2x. So I will subtract 2x on both sides. My number is negative 34. I will move it to the right. So by doing the opposite of negative 34, which is positive 34. Then this is 0, this is 0, this is x, negative 5 plus 34 should be 29. Negative 5 plus 34. So that x is 29. Okay, and I circle it because I will need it. That's not my answer. Then I will find y. I will choose either equation. I want to choose the one with the smallest values. So y equals 2 parentheses x minus 5. 2 times 29 minus 5. 29 times 2 should be 48. 58 should be 58 minus 5, which gives me 53. So this is y, and then I write my solution. And then I write x, comma, y. My x number is 2953. Now you have to remember, if you write 5329, your answer will be wrong because the Kanun says you have to start with x and then y. Yes, you have the correct rakams, but you wrote it the wrong way. So this will be wrong. This should be your values for your answer. Okay, why does this look the same? 34, okay, no, it's not the same. So I will take this because my rakam, my variables are the same. I will replace it here. So now we have 3x minus 2 equals to 2x minus 5. So I will subtract 2x on both sides. I will add 2 on both sides. This is 0, this is 0. This is x. 3 minus 2 is 1x. In math, we never write the number 1, okay? Negative 5 plus 2 will be negative 3. And you circle your answer. Move your x a little bit closer to the equal, okay? Then now find y. It doesn't matter which equation. So y equals to 3 parentheses x minus 2. Y equals to 3 multiply negative 2. And that would be negative 9 minus 2, which will be negative 11. Okay, and then you write solution. And then you write x comma y. And then your x is negative 3, and this is negative 11. And you box your answer. So remember, you're still doing substitution. Okay. Now here, what do you notice? None of your equations start with a variable. So I'm going to use this one because I have only one variable here for y, which is okay. So I'm going to do 2x plus y equals to 3. I will minus 2x on both sides because I want my equation to start with y. I want. The decision is yours to make. Okay? So because I want my equation to start with y, I will move the x. So now I have y equals to negative 2x plus 3. Now this, I will take it to the second equation at y, because I said y equals. So it will go to replace y over there. So this will be 4x plus 4 parentheses negative 2x plus 3 equals 8. Then I will do distributive property. Remember, the ishara in front of your term is important. The ishara in front of your term is important, okay? So here you'll have 4x minus 8x plus 12 equals to 8. Positive 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. Positive 4 times negative 2x will be negative 8x. Positive 4 times positive 3 will be positive 12. These are friends. So that becomes negative 4x plus 12 equals to 8. I will subtract 12 on both sides. I will get negative 4x equals to negative 4. I will divide by negative 4 on both sides. I will get x. A negative taksim a negative is a positive. And 4 taksim 4 is 1. So that will give me x equal 11. Then now I need to find y. It doesn't matter which equation, I will use the one with the less values. So 2 parentheses x plus y equals to 3. 2 multiply 1 plus y equals to 3. 2 plus y equals to 3 minus 2 on both sides. Y is 1. Okay? Then you write your solution. X comma y, 1 comma 1. And you box your answer. You box your answer just like that. Okay? All right. Here, I will use this one and I will start my equation with x. So I will subtract 2y on both sides. So this will be x equals to negative 2y minus 1. Then I will take this to the first equation at x. So now I will have 3 parentheses negative 2y minus 1 plus 4y equals to negative 3. I will do distributive property. So this will give me negative 6y minus 3 plus 4y equals to negative 3. I will add 3 on both sides. I will get negative 6y plus 4y equals to 0. Okay? Now, negative 6 plus 4y will be negative 2y equals to 0. I will divide by negative 2 on both sides. Y is 0. Okay? Now, if I find y now, I will find x. So find x. I will use the one with the less variables, with the less values. So x plus 2 parentheses y equals negative 1. X plus 2 multiply 0 equals negative 1. This becomes 0. X plus 0 is negative 1. X is negative 1. Then you write solution x comma y, negative 1, 0. And you box your answer. Okay? Here we are lucky. The equation starts with y, or it starts with one variable. So this goes here. So we have negative 6x minus 2 parentheses negative 3x plus 4 equals to negative 8. And we do distributive property. So that will be negative 6x plus 6x plus 4 equals to negative 8. Negative 2 times negative 6 is positive, because a negative times a negative is a positive. So negative 2 times negative 3x will be positive 3x. This will become 0. And now I have 4 equals to negative 8. And because 4 is not equal to negative 8, I will cross and I will write no solution. Why did I write no solution? Because the values are not the same. Okay. So your answer is no solution. Okay. So this is your answer. So once you solve and you get this, in your choices, you will choose no solution. You cannot choose a rakam. Your answer is no solution. Okay. All right. Here we are not lucky, so we need to make an equation, start with a half. I will choose the first equation because it has less values. So negative 1 equals to 2x minus y. Okay. I will add y. No, I want y, yes? Okay, doesn't matter, whichever way you choose. So yes, I can add y on both sides. There's many ways of you doing it, okay? So this will become 0. These are not friends. So this will be negative 1 plus y equals to 2x. Then I will move negative 1 because I want my equation to start with y. So I will add 1 on both sides, okay? So these are y equals to 2x plus 1. They are not friends. I cannot add them, okay? Then I will take this to my second equation to the half y, okay? So I'll put my line here. Then I will write 8x minus 4 parentheses 2x plus 1 close parentheses equals to negative 4. Then I will do distributive property. Then I will say 8x minus 8x minus 4 equals to negative 4. Okay, this will become 0. And now we'll have negative 4 equals negative 4. And this will be infinitely many solutions because my values are the same. Another name for infinitely many solutions is identity. So this is an identity solution, and the because is still the same. Because my values are the same, or because the value on the left is the same as the value on the right. Because the value on the left is the same as the value on the right. Now, when your answer is infinitely many or no solution, I don't think you can check. Not I don't think, I know you cannot check because you don't have a value, you don't have something that says y equals or x equals. You don't have that. So how are you going to check? You don't have a number for y or a number for x. So you cannot check if your answer is no solution, and you cannot check if your answer is infinitely many. The only time you're going to check is when you have one solution. Like when you have x equal and y equal. That's the only time you can check. Is that clear? But you should always read your question and check your work if you did each step correctly. Okay? All right, so we're still doing substitution. Here we are lucky, the equation starts with x. So I will take this and replace it here. So then I will write negative parentheses y minus 1 plus y equals to negative 1. Because I don't have a number here, I will put 1. So what is negative 1 times y? That will be negative y. What is negative 1 times negative 1? That will be positive 1 plus y equals to negative 1. Subtract 1 on both sides. Then you'll have negative y plus y equals to negative 2. Okay? That's one way of you doing this. So this will be 0. This will give you 0. So 0 is not equal to negative 2. So your answer is no solution. No solution because my values are not the same. Now, when you get here, you can also do this a different way. You could have done it like this: negative y plus y plus 1 equals to negative 1. I'm putting friends together. So this will give me 0, and then I'll have 1 equals to negative 1. 1 and negative 1 are not the same, so still no solution. So there's different ways of you to solve. It's how you see the question. How you see the question is how you solve, as long as it's mathematically correct, okay? Here we are lucky, we have y, so we're gonna take this and replace it in the second equation over here. So now we're gonna do 3x plus parentheses negative 4x plus 11 equals to 9. There is no number here, so I will put 1. So I will put like that and do distributive property. So this is 3x minus 4x plus 11 equals to 9. What does this become? Negative 1x plus 11 equals to 9. I minus 11 on both sides. This becomes 0. I have negative 1x equals to negative 2. I divide both sides by negative 1. Okay. And this goes away. So x equals to 2. Then you need to find y. So I'll use the first equation. Y equals to negative 4 parentheses x plus 11. Y equals to negative 4 parentheses 2 plus 11. Negative 8 plus 11. This should be 3. Then you write your solution. So solution, I'm going to start with x, comma, y. Your x is 2, your y is 3, and this is your answer. Okay. Here we are still lucky because we have y equals, so you're going to do this and replace it here with the y. So you're going to 2x plus parentheses negative 3x plus 1 equals to 1. I don't have a number here. We write 1 and do that. 2x minus 3x plus 1 equals to 1. And 2x minus 3x is negative x plus 1 equals to 1 minus 1 minus 1. Then you will have negative x equals to 0. And then I will divide, here there is no number, so I will put 1. So I'll divide by -1, divide by -1. So this goes away, so x is 0. X is 0, okay? Then we find y. Y equals to -3, parenthesis x plus 1, -3, parenthesis 0 plus 1, 0 plus 1, 1. Y is 1. Okay. Then solution, x comma y. X is 0, y is 1, and you box your answer. And you check by yourself. So if I check quickly, this is 1, this will be 0, and this will be 1. So this is sa. Here will be 0, and 1 equals 1. Yes. Okay. So I know my work is correct. So you should be able to check your work by yourself. Okay. We are still doing substitution. We are not lucky because there's no equation that starts with 1/2, but we are lucky here. We have 1/2 y. So we will take the first equation and make it start with y equals to -5. So I will move 3x. And this is y equals to -3x minus 5. Then we're going to take this and you're going to replace it at y. So then you're going to have 6x plus 2 parentheses -3x minus 5 equals to 10. Then you're going to do distributive property. 6x minus 6x minus 10 equals to 10. This part becomes 0. And these two numbers are not the same. -10 and 10 are not the same. So we'll write no solution because -10 is not equal to +10. Okay. All right. Here I will move my equation to start with x. Okay. So I will move 3y on both sides by subtracting because this is positive. So to remove it, to bring it here, I need to subtract on both sides. So this goes away. -x, -x equals to -3y plus 13. Then I will divide everybody by -1. So this goes away. I will have x equals to, this goes away. This is 3y, or -3 divide -1 is +3. So -3y divide -1 will be +3y. +13 divide -1 will be -13. Then I will take this to x in the first equation. So I will take it here. Okay. Always show where you're going. So it is easier for you to check what you did wrong. Okay. So we have 5 parentheses 3y minus 13 minus y equals to 5. Then I will do distributive property. So I have 15y minus 65 minus y equals to 5. 13 times 5, -13 times 5 should be 65, okay? Then I can add 65 on both sides. So this goes away. So 15 minus 1 is 14. So I have 14y because I did 15y minus y. That will give me 14y and equals to 70. Okay? Because I will add 65 on both sides. Okay. Then I will divide 14 on both sides. Y should be, I think my answer will still be a fraction. No, it's a whole number. So y is 5. Okay. Then now I find x. Find x. I'm going to use the first equation. So 5x minus parentheses y equals to 5. 5x minus parentheses 5 equals to 5. This becomes negative 5. 5x minus 5 equals to 5 plus 5 plus 5. 5x equals to 10. I want x, so I will divide both sides by 5 and x equals to 2. Then I will write my solution, and then I will write x comma y, which is 2 comma 5, and I will box my answer. Okay, we are still using substitution. I will change the second equation. Plus 2x plus 2x. Okay, then I will get y equals 2x minus 4. I will take this to here. Okay, so I will have 2x plus parentheses 2x minus 4 equals to 4. There's no number here. I will put 1. Then we will do this. So 2x plus 2x minus 4 equals to 4. This becomes 4x minus 4 equals to 4. Plus 4 plus 4. You have 4x equals to 8. Divide by 4, divide by 4. X is 2. Then choose either equation to find y. So find y. I use the first equation. I know x, so it should be in parentheses. So 2 times 2 plus y is 4. 4 plus y, because 2 times 2 is 4. Divide, subtract 4, not divide. Subtract 4 on both sides. Y equals to 0. Then you write solution. Then you write x comma y. And then you write 2 comma 0. And you box your answer. Okay. We have another one here. None of my equations starts with a half, so I'll change the first equation. Negative 5x plus 4y equals to 20 minus 4y minus 4y will give me negative 5x equals to negative 4y plus 20. I will divide by negative 5. We will cross. X equals to 4 over 5y. Okay. Minus 4. A positive taksim a negative. 20 divide 5, 4. Now I'm going to take this and replace it here. So I'm going to have 10 parentheses 4 over 5y minus 4 minus 8y equals to negative 40. I will distribute positive 10. That will be 8y minus 40 minus 8y equals to negative 40. Then I will do this and this, they are friends. So 8y minus 8y minus 40 equals to negative 40. This will be 0. So I have negative 40 equals negative 40. So this is infinitely many solutions or identity solution. Okay. All right. We will continue from here.